Let us continue discussing the types of constraint, and we have covered vertical constraint, horizontal constraint, perpendicular and tangent. Let us discuss the next type of constraint, that is midpoint constraint. So I'll directly explain what is it by drawing a line segment and another line segment. So I have created two line segments, each of some random lengths. I want this particular line on the left hand side to be placed at the midpoint of the line on the right hand side, or the line segment on the right hand side. So in order to do that, I have to select the midpoint constraint. For that, click on midpoint, select the first point of this line and select the line of target, or the line where you want the first point to be placed on. And as soon as I've selected, you can see that both the lines are connected, and they are connected at the location of the midpoint because I have selected the midpoint constraint. So let me try to show you again by deleting the segments. First line and second line, right? I want them to be connected to each other at the location of the midpoint. There it is. They got selected and they got connected with each other at the location of the midpoint. So this is all about midpoint constraint. So let us see what is coincident constraint. Let me draw a line. So most of the constraints, or possibly all the constraints, I will be explaining by using a line. But when we are actually practicing the sketches, you can observe that the sketches are automatically constrained when we are sketching it, right? So it's not generally required for us to use the constraint, but at some moments, we have to, there is a need of constraining the sketch or the segment at certain locations, right? So we have to be aware and we have to know how to use them. So I was explaining the coincident constraint, and this is the first line. And imagine, I'll just try to show, So let me try to connect this line over here, and using the coincident constraint, let me click on the first entity and the second line, and you can see that the line got extended and it got connected to the another line segment, right? And let me try to show you again what's happening over here. Imagine I have a certain center line, a horizontal center line, and a vertical center line, and I'm just trying on my own. And let me just try to consider a center arc. Okay, imagine I'm just beginning from here and stopping at this position. Now I want this arc to be continued, and I want it to end till next entity. Okay, so for that, let me just click on coincident, selected the point and selected the entity, and you can see that the line got extended and it got connected, or it has got stopped to the entity which I selected. And the line or the arc or the segment follows the path which it has to follow, because this arc was maintaining a radius of 2100 to 165 units. So it continued the same radius and it got placed at the entity which I have selected. So this is all about coincident constraint.